What's up, guys? It's Ramsey, your girl behind Homegirl Cookies. I don't know if you follow my social media pages or not, but over the past several weeks, I have been posting little sneak peeks here and there about a project I've been working on. And that is putting a cookie room, a new cookie room together in my house. And I'm so excited to announce that it is finally done, finished, all organized and ready to go. Now, I did not have the luxury of having my own separate room within my house, you know, with a door that closes and that sort of thing to set up shop in. So I had to convert my dining room into my cookie space after I got the husband on board, which took a lot of convincing. But he finally agreed to it, and I'm so thankful because this whole space has become my absolute happy place. So in a second here, I'm gonna walk around the room and show you some ideas I came up with, some budget-friendly ideas to help me with storage of my cookie supplies, all of my baking tools, food gels, you name it, which we all know take up a ton of space, especially if we have a limited area to store them. So hopefully something there might spark an interest or an idea for you if you are in the process of setting up your own cookie space. Because I had to get a little bit creative in working with a small area to store all of my stuff to try and give my own kitchen a little bit of storage relief. So before we go on a tour, there's a few things I wanted to make sure I mentioned. I did not acquire all of these things you will see at once. It's an accumulation I collected over the past several years that I have had my little cottage and home baking business. So it's a lot of hard work I poured into it, so I would reward myself here and there with a new cookie tool ever so often, and that's how I've accumulated some awesome products over the years. And anything I do mention in this video tour, I will try to link below. I'm not affiliated with any of it, but I do love to give credit to products and companies that have helped me, you know, advance my cookie skills along the way. So here is something I want to mention, and I stress this often. The whole wonderful world of cookie decorating and baking out of your home, it's all about preference. There are 1,001 ways of doing things, and everybody prefers something different. There's no right or wrong way when it comes to a particular technique, when it comes to a particular product you like, when it comes to setting up your cookie space if you're able to do so out of your home. So something you see here that works for me, it might not work for you, but I'm hoping it may spark some kind of idea that will set you on a path to find something that will help you. So always embrace what you like best, no matter what anybody says. You're not doing it wrong. If it works best for you, you're doing it right. So let's go on a tour. So like I said before, I converted my dining room into my cookie space, and this is just kind of an overall view of the area so you can see that it's not very big at all. So I had to get pretty creative when it came to its layout. I wanted to make sure I would be able to accomplish everything in here that I wanted to, from making the dough to packaging the cookies and sending them out my door. So we kind of have 3 areas of this room that I envisioned, and here's one. This is kind of my dough prep and icing prep area with all my ingredients and tools. Back across the back wall is my work desk. You see my projector and my computer there. That's where I do all of my decorating and planning out the sets and research, answering emails and messages, that sort of thing. We'll talk about my cookie cutter wall as well for that storage. And then this area over here is my packing station. I'm a firm believer in pretty cookie packaging. I think it will catch the eye of the customer a little bit more. So I accumulate a lot of packaging because I love that part of the cookie process. So I had to dedicate an entire wall to it. But let's get started over here with the dough prep station. So before I jump into explaining some of the things that you see over here on my dough prep station, I wanted to say this. You are gonna see a lot of things in this room that I use in my business, but decorate with as well. So it serves as a decor purpose in my cookie room as well. An example of that is this little ledge up here. On the other side is my kitchen. But these cake plates and cake risers, the sign, the chalkboard, the letter signs, all of those items and many more within this cookie room, I take with me to like set up milk and cookie tables or my porch pop-ups that I do. I use those to decorate those things with and hold my cookie and baked items. So my decoration are my tools also. So they serve dual purposes, and I'm big on that. Everything in this room has to serve some sort of purpose that benefits my business somehow, and storage in my house as well. I don't have to tuck these away in a cabinet and take up extra space in my kitchen. I actually brought those in here to decorate with until I need them, and I'll just bring them right back down. And I freed up so much space in my actual kitchen that way by decorating with some of the tools as well. But coming back down here to one of my favorite things in here in my cookie room is my pegboard storage system. And I actually made this pegboard, that's actually just wrapping paper glued onto the pegboard, and there's a specific process for that, and it's so easy and very inexpensive, budget friendly. I actually have a video tutorial on how I made this pegboard if you're interested in doing it yourself in your own space and coordinating with your colors and design and such. But it's super easy and it serves a huge purpose. As you can see, it holds a ton of my tools, from aprons, cookie cutters, mixer attachments. I've got my cookie dough scoops up there, measuring spoons, spatulas, my rolling pin, my dough rolling mat. So many things go up there, and it's so versatile. And you saw earlier, I also use this same pegboard system, but cut down to a different size for some cookie cutter storage. And we'll get to that. So down here for my prep tables, ideally I would have loved to have stainless steel tables in here, but those are crazy pricey and we're out of my budget. So I went with these tables as an alternative, and they have been wonderful. As you can see, they're kind of the same shape and setup as a stainless table. And they also, what I love about them, the whole table plugs into the wall, and they each have this outlet receptacle on the side of them, and you just turn it on and you have 2 extra outlets for your mixers and that sort of thing. It's been wonderful. Up here, I have my Big Betty White Bosch, a workhorse that will mix all of the cookie doughs. This KitchenAid is a 5-quart, and I will mix most of my icings and just small batches in there. These right here are non-slip pastry mats, and they serve a huge purpose when it comes to cleanup and mixing the doughs efficiently and that sort of thing. I can just make all of my ingredient measurements out on here in bowls, and then just take this to wipe it off and clean it off in the sink. It so makes cleanup much more of a breeze. And it has little measurement conversions on there, rulers. They've been wonderful and helpful. I'm gonna talk about something in the brown sugar in just a second, but as you can see, I use these airtight containers to hold my big amount ingredients that I use all of the time. They've been wonderful. I got them on Amazon and they work really well. Down here, I got these storage baskets at Dollar Tree, I believe. I think they were like $5 each, but they're super thick and sturdy and pretty big and hold a lot, and they fit in this storage system perfectly. These bowls I got at Dollar Tree as well, and I use them a lot to mix my icing colors in. They're dishwasher safe. They've been wonderful, super easy to work with. I use a lot of just the stainless steel bowls to measure out my ingredients. You can just pick something like that up at Walmart, something easy. Over here, I think I got these at Walmart as well. These are the bins that I store my baked cookies in, but not decorated. I don't do my dough prep, baking, and decorating all in the same day, or else I would go crazy and burn out. But that's what I keep my naked cookies in until I'm ready to decorate them. In here, no, I'm not a closet alcoholic. I forgot that was there. I I use Everclear. If you're a cookier, you know this. You mix it with your luster dust and it evaporates completely. So no alcohol is on the cookie, but it's what you mix your dust with to make metallic shades on cookies. And then I had this old cookie jar, and I needed a place to put all of my mini cookie cutters, and they just fit in there perfectly. So when I mainly do minis for like holidays and flash sales and that sort of thing. I don't use them a ton, but when I do, they're all right there and I can just grab what I need. Over here, I have all of my, wax paper, extra plastic wrap. I have hand wipes that I can wipe my hands with if they get messy when I'm making the dough. Because remember, my sink is in the other room and I don't want to go back and forth every time. So I make sure my hands are nice and clean all of the time. And there's some more extra storage. This right here is a little trash can I made. And I just put it up here when I'm mixing dough and crack an egg, and I'll put the eggshell in there, and then I just empty this every time my dough making session for that day is done. It just saves me trips from having to walk back and forth to the trash can, which is all the way on the other side of my cookie room. It's not a big deal, but still. Okay, one thing I wanted to show you in here, if you don't know this already, if you store your brown sugar this way, I highly recommend picking up some of these little terracotta discs. These are called little beekeepers. I think there's a little picture of a bee on there. I got these on Amazon too, very inexpensive. I think they were like 10 or 11 bucks. And you wet them, soak them for a little bit, and put them in your brown sugar and keep them in there. And they keep your brown sugar nice and fresh and prevent it from getting hard as a rock. You know how brown sugar can kind of ball up on you sometimes, but those little discs keep your brown sugar nice and fluffy and soft. Okay, so this cart right here, obviously it's a half-size baker's rack. This has been one of my most amazing purchases to date in my cookie business. I just got this seriously a few months ago, and I'm in like year 5 of my cookie business. I don't know why I went so long without it, but it's so helpful and I use it for multiple purposes, as you can see. Obviously, its intended purpose is to, do your baking, prep your cookies, put them on there before they're ready to go into the oven. You put them in the oven, they're hot, you can set them right back here to cool down. Now, my oven only accommodates half-size sheets and lower, but I do have a full-size cookie sheet here on the top and here on the bottom. Now I can't bake with those because my oven is too small to accommodate that size of a cookie sheet, but I do use these for so many different things. They, obviously right now it's holding my parchment paper. When I don't have any cookies on this cart and I'm making dough, I will put all of my dirty dishes on here and roll all of them over to my sink when it's time to do the dishes, so I have everything over in one trip. So easy and convenient. I can put a few dozen cookies on here at a time and decorate on this to use this just as a base protector. So many different things. So that's why I went ahead and got 2 full sheets as well, because this cart holds full-size pans and half-size pans. So my cookies that I decorate that are drying, I decorate straight on these pans and set them on this rack and leave them to dry overnight. And when I don't have 1,000 sheets going at once, I don't need cookie sheet space down here, I will go ahead and pre-assemble several of my large order bakery boxes and just keep them stored down there so they're ready to go when I get to the packing process and I don't have to worry about assembling the boxes, and I just store them right there on the cart. It's amazing. I love this cart so much. I went way too long without it. Now, the pricing and stuff was the best part for me, and this is what I highly recommend for you if you have it in your area. I'm in the DFW area, and we have a cookie page on Facebook that is a buy, sell, trade cookie only site. And every once in a while, there will be someone that pops up on there that is downsizing or who knows what, and needs to pass on their supplies to the next cookier. And I found this sweet lady who was downsizing. She was moving and needed to get rid of this cart because she didn't have room for it, and it was barely used. So I snagged this up from her at a very good price. So I highly recommend checking out any Facebook cookie buy sell trade sites in your area. Highly recommend. One more thing I forgot to mention about this. I got these from Sam's. They came 2 half-size sheets together in a pack. $14, $15, something, 18 maybe, I can't remember. Great deal on those. They've been wonderful. And then the 2 halves or the 2 full-size sheets, I also found someone that was downsizing and wanting to sell their full-size pans that were barely used on that same buy sell trade site. So that's where those came from. All good, affordable pricing on that. Now let's move over to my work area, my desk that is over here next to the window. Obviously I have my projector right here, so when I'm ready to decorate, I'll wheel this sucker on over here that has all of my cookies on the sheets and just pick up the pan and set it right here and go to town decorating. And if I need to shine down an image, I will use my projector. My computer's right here hooked up to my projector. I've had this projector since I started. I've probably had that 4.5 years. So far so good, it's been amazing. That's an arc and mount stand. I really like that because I can play with the height on my projector and also film some decorating footage using that. This is where I always get one of these new every year, and it's strictly for cookie orders only. That's where I'm a pen and paper kind of gal. I'm not very technically inclined, as you can see in video making alone, but I like to write everything down, and whenever I get an order in, I put it right here, and then I will transfer it over here to my refrigerator calendar. As you can see, I haven't updated it for June yet, but that's on my to-do list, so I'll put that there. I got this on Amazon as well. It's been wonderful so that I can just see it month by month very easily rather than flipping through the book, because I book orders out pretty far in advance in there. One more thing on this area, this is also where I take photographs of all of my finished sets. You want to make sure you are near natural light, so if all possible, set up near a window and open the blinds, and it'll give good natural light to your set so that you can photograph your sets well. I'll just arrange them right there using platters and other little decorative pieces. Of course, I'll move all of that stuff out of the way and photograph right there. While I'm over in this area, if you have the means to get one and the space to store it, I highly recommend getting an extra refrigerator for your baking business. It doesn't have to be anything special, just something to throw all of that butter and eggs and other ingredients in to save space in your family refrigerator. I was taking over our normal kitchen refrigerator so much and I felt so bad. So my aunt, I got lucky. She was getting rid of this barely used fridge that she had only had for about 1 or 2 years in her garage. And so I snagged it up from her for a very fair price, and it has been wonderful and fits perfectly in that spot right there. This right here is just an under desk plastic 3-drawer storage that just kind of holds some overflow items that I don't want out visible to just kind of declutter in there a little bit. Over here, I keep this under my desk as well, and this is just one of those dog food holder things, storage items that I picked up. I was like, that would be perfect to hold my shred, and I use all of the same color shred just to make it easy on myself. I put this in the bottom of my bakery boxes as filler before I put the packaged cookies on top when I'm packaging cookies. Just keeps them extra protected and adds a little bit of flair to the packaging of the cookies. I get a huge 10-pound box of this whenever I need it. Maybe twice a year I have to buy it. And I get it from Staples. Now they have increased their pricing on this. It used to be like 25 bucks for a 10-pound
box of this, but they've almost doubled in price. So I may need to find an alternative there, but that's what I've been using and it's just worked for me perfectly. And I just wheel it out whenever I need to fill it. And when I don't, it goes right underneath my desk and is stored away. So over here, I have my rolling cart, and this has all of my food coloring gels on top. Yes, I still use Great Value sandwich bags as my piping bags. You can make fun of me all you want, but that's what works for me. And if you've seen some of my decorating videos, you've probably noticed, hey, she's using Great Value sandwich bags instead of piping bags. Piping bags are wonderful, but my hands have just gotten used to the feel of those, and they work wonders for me. They might not for you, but that's what I use. I do have piping bags down there for when I need to use tips and that sort of thing for florals, but all of my edible pens, my paint brushes, my scribes, when I watercolor, my little paint wells go in here. I got these at Dollar Tree. Those have been awesome. And these that hold these little trays, or this little tray, it's one big one, that holds my gel in my top tray securely. This was like an old school wooden puzzle that came in one of my kids' games and they grew out of it. So I was like, I'll take that tray and use it in my cookie room somehow. So that was helpful there. All of my airbrushing material is down here. All of these little baskets you see all came from Dollar Tree, very inexpensive, and just some more storage down there. This cart, I know that y'all have seen these everywhere and they fluctuate in prices, but you can find a good deal on those. And I had to have all of this, all of these items together and on one cart that had wheels, because literally this goes all over my room with me. When I'm over here decorating, it's right there. When I'm over here coloring icing, it comes over here. So having something on wheels that can move around the room is super helpful. Back over here is another pegboard system I have. And I am ashamed to admit, this is not all of my cookie cutters. This is probably maybe 50% of them. That's sad to say, right? I have so many cookie cutters. But just like the other pegboard wall, I made a smaller version of it and decided to put just a little easy wooden frame around it just for extra decorative purposes. And these are the cookie cutters that I would say I use most of the time. At the top, I have all of my holiday cookie cutters, but around in here, you know, birthday, wedding, baby shower, all of that stuff, I keep those in my cookie room because I use them most. And then I have another pegboard system in my laundry utility room set up that has my overflow. And right here, remember when I said I like things to have multiple purposes? So these are my baking mats. They're perforated baking mats. I'll put them on my cookie sheets and bake on them, and it leaves a pretty little basket weaved pattern on the back of the cookies. But the thing is, when you hand wash these, they have to dry and you can't just lay them down or else they can collect all kinds of gunk. So I said, hey, I can put these on my pegboard stems and clip them. These are just binder clips from Walmart, and it's kind of a hang dry system that I created for these mats, and that's where I will hang them and let them dry until I need to use them again. So once again, highly recommend pegboard system. Like I said, you can do so much stuff with it. Remember when I said my trash can was way across the room? Yeah, there it is right there, not too far. And finally, this is an area of the room where I spend a lot of my time. And if you have ever packaged cookies or baked goods, you know what a process packaging is. So I have spent a lot of time in this area. So I wanted to make sure it was organized and cute and all of the above. So I'll start with the baker's racks. I think they are from the same brand that my prep tables are, and I think they're called Yahitech. I may be mispronouncing it, but I got the baker's racks on Amazon for a very decent price each, and I knew I wanted 2 of them because I needed extra spacing, and I had the wall space over here for that. So they have the same outlet system where you plug each into the wall, and you have 2 extra outlets to work with. So that comes in handy for my heat sealer. And this is probably, I will say this until the day I die, this is one of the best purchases you can make as an up-and-coming cookie decorator. It is a huge time management tool because if you decide to heat seal your decorated cookies, it keeps them fresh for several weeks. So you can work ahead as needed, depending on your workload. It really saves a lot of time, keeps those cookies fresh and protected, and your customers will highly appreciate that. So this is where I do all of my heat sealing. I'll just plug it in right there. I have all of the main size bags that I use, which are 4x6, 5x7, and then 3x12. Those are the main 3 sizes that I use. These are just the self-sealing Silo bags, and I buy these on Amazon as well. And I go ahead and buy the self-sealing ones just in case I need to utilize, I heat seal no matter what below the self-sealing area, but I go ahead and get these just in case I need to seal that top off, in case I need to leave some extra room to attach a packaging label, to staple on there, or whatever it might be. So that's why I go ahead and get the self-sealing ones also, to leave me that option. But these little containers are Dollar Tree. Staplers, tag hole punch, ribbon. I have the main ribbon that I use up there on my little pole, with my hole punch scissors and stickers that I put on the boxes as well. And that's one thing that attracted me to these baker's racks. Sorry, I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but I keep the little tool right up here, and when I need to take those off or refill anything, paper towels, whatever is up here on this little rolly thing, I just unwind it and stick it through. So that was really helpful in having that little bar right there where I could store some things and hook some things. Speaking of hooking some things, those are my labels. Most often in every state, your cottage law will tell you that you have to have an ingredient or some sort of label on each packaged item that goes out of your house. So that's where I put that right there, and I just make them on Avery address adhesive labels, and I print them out on my own printer, and it saves so much time. I used to do the stamping on the bags with the ink that stays on there, that doesn't slide off the plastic, but honestly it takes so much longer than you think to dry, and I did not want to just have to lay out 1,000 bags and just stamp and wait for them to dry. So the address label method works so much faster and more efficiently for me when I attach my label to my cookies. And down here, it's just extra packaging options. Here's some more different sized boxes that I use. I use this size a lot, so I go ahead and put those together and store some of those pre-assembled down here, and the excess is right here. And to store these boxes, I just got dish rack holders from Dollar Tree. I think I have 2 of them right here. They hold the boxes really well and efficiently. This is an old basket I found somewhere in my house. It holds more packaging options. Fall is my favorite time to decorate. You can also use these around Easter too. But I use a lot of these cups from Hobby Lobby, and I'll heat seal some minis together in a bag and put it in here and tie a ribbon around it, and it just jazzes up the packaging a little bit. So I use a lot of different designs of those when they have them out for the holidays. In here are a bunch of my recipe books. Like I said, remember I said I'm a pen and paper kind of girl, so I have a bunch of them handwritten in there, just different bakery style books. And obviously my printer paper and cardstock. I print my own cookie tags too. I buy a lot of designs off of Etsy. They have some cute designs for $2 or $3, and you can use them indefinitely as the holidays roll around, or for whatever season. So I print a lot of those there, and then I will punch them out using a scalloped tag puncher outer. I don't know, I just made up that word. So these shelves, and this station has been wonderful in helping me package cookies efficiently. Up there on the shelf, remember when I said, this is probably the third time I've said it, I like to decorate with things that I actually use in my baking business. So I decided to get some cute mason jars from Walmart. I think I picked up 12 of them for $1 each after tax, something like that. And all of these ingredients I use every time I make dough. So I'll just grab, you know, the jar and take it over there to my dough making station and measure out what I need, close it back up and come back and put it back over here, and it serves as decoration. So I love it. So just being resourceful like that and making everything have a function and a purpose or two was my goal in setting up this room. And I love, love, love my new LED light sign. That's my logo right there, the big portion of it at least. And I got that from a seller on Amazon who probably gave me the best customer service experience I've ever had in my life. And if you're ever interested in getting one of those signs, let me know and I can point you in the direction to the seller of where I got that on Amazon. They were so helpful, fast shipping, very easy to work with. They helped me out even before I even made a purchase. So wonderful to work with. And if I do decide to start doing vendor events and trade shows and that sort of thing more on the regular, I can just take that sign down really easily and take it with me just as an eye catcher to my booth. So that's another reason I got it. So I think that is pretty much everything worth talking about in my cookie room. If you saw something I did not mention that sparks your interest, please let me know. I am more than happy to talk to you about it in the comment section. So just drop me a comment and I will answer it as soon as I can. As always, thank you so very much for taking this tour with me and watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found something useful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye guys.